Hello and welcome to my channel. It's the Network Specialist. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so that you know each and every time I upload a video. Everything I will discuss in this video is alleged and in my very own opinion, used for entertainment purposes only. Okay? Hey, Sharon Godball, thank you so much for being here. Now, guys, as much as I didn't want to, I'm going to have to talk about everything that's going on with Shannon Sharp. Okay. And let me just start off by saying that I have no sympathy for Shannon Sharp. He has been warned to stop messing with these young girls. He entered into a relationship with a 19-year-old girl who I am assuming that she is about 21. I'm not sure if she's already turned 21, but they were engaged in a relationship for about 2 years. Okay, at his big age of 56 years old. Okay, like you are literally old enough to be this girl's father. And if that was my child, I would want to do some harm to you for messing with my 19-year-old daughter. Okay, and exposing her to things. Now, when I say exposing her to things, obviously it has been said that, she's into webcamming or whatever the case may be. So she's into that sort of thing. But I think that once she got with Shannon Sharp, he took all of this stuff to a new level because of the simple fact that this man has bukus of money. So he is able to influence this young girl to do almost anything that he wanted her to do, in my opinion. Okay. Because money talks. Okay. So it is alleged that he was engaging in race play. We've all heard the videos and, we've seen the back and forth. It has been said and alleged that before this even came out, he offered this young girl $10 million as a settlement. And for this girl not to take $10 million, which could have potentially, you know, pretty much set her for life. She could have been set for life with $10 million at the age of 19 years old. Hey, Mama Bees, thank you so much for being here, my moderator. Thank you so much. So, I mean, for her not to take that $10 million offer, what that tells me is that Shannon Sharp has something to hide. Okay. There is something about this situation that he does not want to come out, or just even, he paid her off because he did not want to be exposed for messing with, somebody at such a young age. And then also, entertaining race play. Okay. Being a public figure. So, this is going to all play out in court. I'm kind of glad that she did not take the settlement because he needs to be exposed. Okay. And Sharon Gottwald says powerful rich men like younger women because they can control them. Exactly. Like this girl has never been exposed to this type of money. So for her to have this close contact with a man, and he even said that he made $6 million off of the Cat Williams interview. So if he made, she's probably thinking in her head, if he made $6 million off of one interview, this man's money is longer than I can see. Okay. So she's all in. I mean, as a adult woman, anybody would probably be influenced by somebody with so much money. But being 19, pretty much just getting out of high school, just leaving your parents' nest, like that's a lot of money. And obviously, it would sway her to do things that naturally she probably wouldn't want to do on a normal basis. If he was a broke ninja, like she probably wouldn't have any of that. And Sharon says he loves the snow bunnies. Absolutely. And that's another thing. Like, I don't know what it's going to take for these men to realize that a lot of these women, they don't love you. They want your money. They love what you have to offer to them, what you bring to the table. That's not love, okay? They're using you for your coin. And I'm pretty sure he realized that, but having so much money at his disposal, he was just willing to pay for whatever fantasies that he had that he wanted to live out. So he's over there living his best life, living out all of his fantasies, no matter how creepy they may be, you know, and now he's caught up. And Mama B says, how did he meet her? Was she on OnlyFans? She is said to be on OnlyFans, but he actually met her at a gym. He met her at a gym, and obviously they struck up some type of conversation, and she probably recognized him because he's worldwide. I mean, if he was not already on the map, which he certainly was, after he did that interview with Cat Williams, that interview really put him on the map. So it's very hard to find anybody who does not know who Shannon Sharp is. So when she ran into him, she was probably thinking dollar signs, okay? Because I'm pretty sure if he was not Shannon Sharp, she would not have given him the time of day. I'm just saying. Hey, Paula, thank you so much for being here. So I'm pretty sure she recognized who he was at the gym. Maybe she didn't lead on to him that she knew who he was, but I feel like she definitely knew who he was. Okay. And listening to those video calls of him saying that he wanted to, you know, do what people do to people by the throat. Um, I'm not really buying that, but he still deserves whatever comes his way because if you listen to those videos, it just really sounds like race play. Nothing more, nothing less. Like I believe that's just the way that they handle whatever it is that they do when it comes to the race play, the what do you call it? I'm not really into it. I'm trying to think of the term, like subs and doms or whatever the case may be. So, this is what I feel like this is what they entered into. And Mama B says, yes, he is not attractive at all. He's a very neat guy. You can see that. I mean, when I watch him on his show, the very few shows, I only watch the shows that go viral. Other than that, I'm really not checking for Club Shay Shay. It's not really my thing. But obviously, if he has a big name person on there and if it goes viral, I'll watch then. But I'm not checking for him on a regular basis. Like, I don't even watch The Nightcap, the show that he does with Ocho Cinco, because I feel like both of those men are very, is it red pillish or just I don't know. I feel like they're very um hoish man or whatever you want to call it. I feel like they'll never be faithful and commit to one woman because again, they got money and they just don't feel like they have to do that. So I don't really check for them in that manner. But again, he deserves everything that's coming to him. And the lawyer that she chose, Tony Bugsby, is very questionable. But at the end of the day, Tony Bugsby has a record of winning his cases. And I hope he wins this one because this man was in the process of signing $100 million deal. Okay. So maybe that influenced her decision on not settling for the $10 million. Okay. And again, the fact that he even offered her $10 million makes me feel like there's something that he has to hide, that he doesn't want to come out. So I'm going to keep my ear to the streets to, get more details and more updates because I really want to know what is it that we have not already heard since this came out that she has on Shannon Sharp. I believe her putting out that video that was heavily edited did not give a lot. It was just to let him know that she means business. Okay. And there's a lot more where that came from. So I believe that scared him up, you know, but he did retaliate and put some things out about her as well. So they might have a back and forth, but I don't see the purpose of that because the lawsuit has been filed. Save it for court. Save it for court. Okay. And he's just out here looking really bad. Because, first of all, I want to say it was back in January, he went viral because he went live having actual intercourse with another lady by the name of Michelle. And it has been said that this is the reason why this Jane Doe, which he has revealed her name, I'm not going to call her name on my platform just because she went under the name of Jane Doe. She wanted to remain anonymous, okay? And she is only 19 years old. And Sharon says, I'm sorry, I would have took that money and ran with it. Girl, like if she would have took that money and ran with it, then her name would not have been exposed and she wouldn't have this hanging on over her head for the rest of her life because now all of this is going to be on the internet and anybody can find out this information, just by going to the internet. So I think I would have settled for the 10 million. Like, girl, like, I understand that you were taken advantage of. I don't doubt that for a moment. But at the same time, like, $10 million should have been enough to make you go away. I'm just saying, you know. But obviously, she's on another agenda. And it looks like she's trying to create generational wealth for many generations to come. And that's what he gets. That's exactly what Shannon Sharp gets because I want to say, I don't know. Let me see. I'm very curious now that I think about it. Give me a second. Okay. According to the World Wide Web, Shannon Sharp has three children. Looks like they're all daughters Kayla, Kyari, and Kaylee. Um, Kaylee is 32 years old and she was born October 16th, 1992. And it says Kyrie and Kaylee are also his children, but it doesn't list their names. So, now this man's daughters has to be exposed to his, lifestyle. And Mama B said there is a possibility that she could lose. Don't let greedy cause you get less. Yes, she could possibly lose just because she's being greedy. Okay. Because one thing I do know is that Shannon Sharp has the money to buy the best attorney, So being that she's not putting anything up front and she's relying on Tony Bugsby to get paid in the back end, you're right, Mama Bees. He could potentially hire a lawyer that could make this all go away. And then it's also being said that he's going to sue for defamation. So I hope this does not come back to slap her in the face because she did not take that $10 million, which was more than enough for her to live off on for the rest of her life, to make multiple investments, to buy a home, a car, everything her heart desires. And she walked away from $10 million. So she wants it all. And after only being with this man for 2 years, like, what are you trying to get? Like, it's so ridiculous that she didn't take that settlement. But I'm not sure if she didn't trust him. Hey, Alf MC, thank you so much for being here. I miss you, sis. Like, anybody in their right mind would have taken that $10 million settlement just to make this go away so that she didn't have to go to court, so that she could have remained anonymous. But no, like you said, Mama B, she wanted to be greedy and she wanted more than the $10 million. that he was offering her. So we'll just see how all of that plays out. It is getting very low. Like, even when it came to the girl Michelle that he went live, having, actual stuff with. The thing about that situation is anybody who's ever went live, and I have went live many a times. Instagram wasn't my live of choice. It was more so on Facebook, but I have went live on Instagram. There's a lot of steps to that. So if you're involved or engaged in having, actual activities, how in the world do you got your phone in your hand to be going live? All of that seemed like a scam, a setup, or whatever the case may be. And I believe that he did that to cover up the fact that it has been said and alleged that he likes men, that he is on the DL. So I believe that Shannon Sharp did that whole scam just to make people think that he was into women, in my opinion. Okay. And then I don't know where I heard it, but I heard it somewhere that his ex, I don't know if it was his, I believe it was his stylist or something like that, low key put out there the people that he was involved with. And Alf MC said, honey, this Shannon situation is like watching a horrible Tubi movie. This is all his fault and I'm eating. Okay. There is no reason for a 50-plus-year-old man being with a child. Exactly. Like, I wonder what his daughters have to say about this. Like, I hope they are reading him for Phil, because at some point, even if that was my parent, I would just have to let him have it because this is disgusting. And Sharon says, I totally believe that was a setup. And I think you're speaking about the situation with the so called Michelle. And people are saying that they believe that this particular Jane Doe got upset because she thought that he was the only one, um, she was the only one that he was seeing. I don't believe that for a minute. This girl is alleged to be some type of call girl or street person. So she cannot believe this man is paying you for a service. So you're not thinking that this is your man, in my opinion. And Alf MC says, in my opinion, she's a child based on their age difference. Exactly. I mean, this girl was just out of high school, 19 years old, when she came across Shannon Sharp at the gym. And Alpha MC says the way she was talking in those leaked recordings had me gagging because, dude, she was setting you up. To me, she was talking that way because that's their lingo, because I feel like they're involved in race play and dominance, or whatever you call that. Yes, Michelle. So, you know, I feel like both of them are lying. So we don't even need to hear any videos, any text messages, because at this point, I think both of them are lying and they're going to do whatever, she's going to do whatever it takes to collect on the bag. And he's going to do whatever it takes to lie his way out of this because he is looking really bad out here, because it's alleged that he started talking to this girl when she was only 19 years old. That's why, you know, if you're under the age of 18, you cannot be held accountable as an adult because you don't have the mental capacity to make decisions like an adult. So when you enter in relations with people that are such a young age, like, you're taking advantage of them because they don't have the mental capacity to make the right decisions, and they can easily be influenced by an older person, by a person with money, just anything. And Alpha MC says, from her tone and cadence, she wasn't even into him in any way, possibly other than getting a bag from him. She didn't even fake the funk and work for her money, just lazy and no enthusiasm. Yeah, she pretty much sounded like her age, you know? And obviously he chooses, like somebody else said, to date younger women because a woman his age would not tolerate, what he's bringing to the table because he's just always came off as being controlling, but he likes to call it like he's what does he call it? OCDC? I'm not for sure, but you know, he's been said that he's very controlling. He likes things a certain way. He's a clean freak. And Sharon says the sad part about this is people will still be on his side. A lot of men, because a lot of women, like we're just not here for it. But obviously, there's a lot of men doing the same thing. So basically, he just joined the club. And Alpha MC says, disclaimer, y'all, I know this is a serious matter, but I'm not giving energy to Shannon's shenanigans. That's what I said, Alpha MC. Like I really did not want to talk about it. It took me days just to even make up my mind just to even talk about it. But since I just found myself just wanting to stay on top of it, just to know how this is going to all play out. I said, if I'm going to keep listening to this, I might as well talk about it. So that's why I just decided to talk about it because I'm just very interested to see how all of this is going to play out because it was just always something about Shannon Sharp for me. It was just always something about him that didn't sit right with me, and he was just always in the media for different things. So we're going to move past that and we're going to talk about a couple of other things before I get out of here. So I don't know if you guys got the opportunity to watch the video that I did on yesterday. Alpha MC, I know you weren't here yesterday, but have you heard that Britt Edie's husband is said to be on the DL and that he goes to these DL parties in Atlanta? And I heard it on Tasha K platform. Shout out to her. Um, and it is said and alleged that he goes to these down low parties. And, so basically it just confirmed allegedly what I was already feeling that her man looked very suspect to me. And a lot of people were saying it in my chat that they thought that he was on the DL or whatever the case may be. And then I was also on somebody else's platform and I heard them use the term lavender relationships. So drop down in the chat and let me know if you know what a lavender relationship is. I had never heard the term, but from what I took from it is that there are a lot of women in the ATL that are in lavender relationships, meaning that they are in relationships with men who they know are bisexual. Okay. And Alpha MC says, girl, I heard laughing my ass off about Rick's hubby because we all sensed he was a lavender. There you go. So obviously you've heard the term before, Alpha MC. What is your definition of a lavender lover? And Sharon says, I knew something was going on with him. Girl, you and everybody else. So if we can see it, I'm pretty sure Britt can see it because so many people thought that this man was suspect. And if we all see it and she looks at him every day and that's her husband, I know she's seen it. So this lavender relationship must really be a thing that women are engaging in. I cannot. So Alf MC says that a lavender lover equals someone who is a male gay man who marries, dates a heterosexual woman. Okay, so I was pretty much right, because that's exactly what I thought it was. And I'm assuming that the reason why it has that term is because these women are aware that they are in a relationship with a bisexual man. Otherwise, I don't think they would call it that just because these women were unaware. So I think that these women are very aware that they're in this type of relationship and they're okay with it. Just like Quad Web, because it's also said that she's in a lavender relationship. Okay, got it. And Sharon says Britt knew he was on the DL. And I heard some other people that seem to think that he is her handler, um, aka PIMP. So if that's something that you also get from him, put a one in the chat because there's a couple of things that makes me very curious about Brit and her lifestyle. And one of those things is the fact that even Kelly said that she has seen Brit with a pow pow. So she's just like she said, she carries a pow pow everywhere she goes. Like, in what world, where are you hanging out that you always have to have your pow pow with you? And okay, so you thought that too, Sharon. Okay. And even on her website, from what I have heard allegedly, it's very vague when she describes her business and her being able to, help people to level up in the insurance industry. It's very vague. So I think that website is just a cover up to make it look like she's in that field, but low key, she's doing something else. Okay. There was no what do you call it? There was no reviews. There was nobody talking about her course. We see no evidence of anybody who has taken her course. So I think that website is a cover up for what Britt Edie is actually into. And then on top of that, everybody is already out here thinking that, you're on OnlyFans and you're doing those type of things. And on this last episode, her lifting up her leg in the car, like, girl, you're doing way too much. Like, people are already thinking that, you know, that's the type of lifestyle you're into. And you're just out here proving them right because you're with your husband. So why would you be lifting up your legs in the company of another man, the car salesman? And Mama B said, did y'all hear that Sweet Tea and Dr. G didn't get a contract to come back to Married to Medicine? Yes, Mama B's, I heard that. I heard that allegedly, but I also watched Sweet Tea's video, Sweet and Savory, on her YouTube channel. And just from the verbiage that she used, so she said without saying that she's not coming back to the show. That's what that gave me. She didn't come out and say it, but from everything she did say, it just made me feel like that she's not coming back to the show. And Alf MC says, yes, I wholeheartedly agree with you regarding Britt's business. I think she's literally fishing for new pawns to add to their roster. Oh my God. Guys, we've only gotten past six episodes on season 16, and this girl has been dragged on the internet from everything that happened with Kenya, the situation with the pow pow, the insurance fraud. Now she's a lavender lover. Like, girl, we're only on episode 6. So I'm not sure if she's going to be coming back um for another season after this one, because they also said that there was a clause in the contract with Bravo that you can't be a P star or anything like that. And I'm not saying that's what she is, but it seems like whatever profession that she is in, it seems like it's something related to some sexual activities. Okay, I'm just going to say that. So I hope everything that's come out about her proves to be wrong, but I don't think so. Even that ring is probably fake. Like Brit is just giving fake everything. Like I'm at the point where I really don't believe anything that Brit says. And Alchemy C says, I kind of took that understanding of Sweet Tea and Dr. Greg by how what she's been saying lately. Exactly. Dr. Greg isn't healed from his previous marriage and took his frustrations out on Sweet Tea. Sweet Tea. Yes, and if she wants to keep her marriage and if she wants to eventually have a baby, I feel like she needs to get off the show. I think that's a good move. So whether it was her decision or Bravo's decision, I think it's a good move for their family because Dr. G is definitely running out of time when it comes to having a baby. So I think that's going to work out for their benefit. But yes, guys, I am out of time. Thank you all so much for being here. And if you did not like the video on the way in, please like the video on your way out. And if you happen to be catching the replay, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel and drop down in the comments so that we can keep this conversation going. I love chatting with you guys in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching and bye for now.